welcome to the Salapaloosa Knits videocast. This is episode 8. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for coming, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me to talk about my knitting and some other craftsy bits and bobs as well. If you want to get in touch with me, you can absolutely do that. I am Salapaloosa Knits on Instagram. I am Salapaloosa on Ravelry, and I have an email for the podcast, which is salapaloosanknits@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or inquiries or anything like that, feel free to get in touch with me. So, like I said, my name is Elizabeth and I'm coming to you from the beautiful city of Bergere, which is in the western part of Norway. And this is where I live with my wonderful boyfriend and where I currently study psychology at the university here. So, with that out of the way, the bits and bobs of the introduction and sort of administrative things, I think we're just going to jump right into the knitty goodness. So, please grab your knitting and some lovely beverage of your choosing and let's jump into it. I'll have a sip of coffee from my little chip mug here. If you don't know, this is Chip from The Beauty and the Beast, which was my absolute favourite film growing up. The Disney cartoon version, that is, not the new remake. Which really wasn't my favourite. But the old film is just incredibly charming and funny, and yes, I just adored it. I think it's probably got something to do with the fact that when I was a little girl, I absolutely loved reading, and I would read pretty much anything I could get my hands on, which is a bit of Belle from Beauty and the Beast's sort of main storyline, really. So that was probably why I loved it so much, for the recognition of a fellow bookworm, I guess. But anyways, Chip, it's very cute, I think, and I have some delicious coffee in here, so let me just have a sip and we'll jump into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you and talk about today is something that I have been working on for ages and ages, and I have talked about at length previously, but I have not shown off the finished object yet. So, for the FO this week, we have... Are you ready? I have talked about this as my magnum opus cable project, and it really still feels that way. I'm just going to show you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it afterwards. So here we go. This is the Solveig sweater, and we can show up the back as well. It's just the same as the front. It's completely cabled. It's just covered in different kinds of cables. We've got some honeycomb cables and some stag cables, and yes, just it's completely covered. And I'm sure you can imagine, if you have been doing any cabling or worked at a giant cable project like this, that it can be a little bit tiresome after a while, and that is probably the reason why it took me around 10 months to finish, because I knit the front piece and the arms, and then I put it aside for months and months, and I picked it up again after summer, I think maybe in September, something like that, and or maybe earlier, but anyways, I did knit on it during last spring or summer. So I started it up again, and I'm glad I did, because I really wanted to have it finished and just get it out of my UFO bin. And I am very pleased with it in many ways. I do love the way it looks. I love the colour. I'm glad I chose this sort of bright fiery red. I think it does come off a little bit more orange on the camera than it is, but it really is this bright fiery red colour, and I really loved working on it, really. After I picked it up again, at least, and in the beginning, when I first started it, I loved working on it before I got really sick of all the cabling and not being able to do things simultaneously as I was knitting, because this is a real head scratcher, and it definitely requires your full attention. So the yarn is called Hanneli for Sandnes garn. And this was a design collaboration between a very large and excellent yarn factory in Norway, which is called Sandnes garn, and with this stunning VJ. I think she worked for MTV for a while, and she's this beautiful supermodel, I think, still. She is called Hanneli Mustaparta, and yes, so that was a sort of limited design collaboration, and they published this pattern booklet, I guess, booklet. No, it's a booklet, and their sweater was in it, and I absolutely fell in love with it from the get-go, and I knew I wanted to make it. And the only problem that I have with this is actually the yarn, because this is, like I said, the yarn is just called Hanneli for Sandnes garn, and it is a 1-ply 100% merino, and it is quite chunky. I think I have a thread in here somewhere that I haven't sewn in yet. Yes, there you can see. So it is quite chunky, and it is incredibly loosely. It's hardly got any twist on it at all. So the sweater, first of all, there's no nylon in it, and it's not superwash, and although it is incredibly soft because of that, which obviously is a good thing, my issue is with the very, very, very heavy quality of this sweater. It is very heavy, which makes the shape just I don't even know how to describe it, because it's sort of because of the weight, it just sort of everything just falls a little bit. So it's definitely lost its shape that it had when I first finished it. It is just incredibly wide. This is the extra small size that I knit, and I guess it probably does. It come off as quite wide, and the neckline worked beautifully when it was just finished, because it has this sort of little open boat neck look to it, but now it's very, very large, and it barely covers my shoulders. So I'm actually considering redoing the neckline and making it a bit smaller, now that I know how the fabric actually does work and how it lives and just totally has a life on its own. But I'll have to think about it a little bit. I do like it, and I just really wish that it was written for a different yarn, because although it does create a beautiful stitch definition, and one ply yarn is very beautiful with cables and that works incredibly well, it does pill like crazy, and again, with being so heavy and losing so much of its shape, it doesn't really, I'm not very tempted to wear it all that often, which is a shame because I've spent so much time knitting it. And if it were a little bit more fitted, or just kept its sort of, how can I describe it? It's, well, let's just say its original shape, then everything would be good and I'd probably wear it a lot, even if it pilled. So yeah, I'm not happy with it. There's a couple of things that annoy me a little bit, and this is just the choice of the factory, I guess, to choose this yarn for this garment. And I did consider before starting it doing it with another yarn because I was afraid this might happen, but I decided to trust in the original pattern and go for the yarn that they recommended for it. And also, I mean, this colour is just incredible, so that's good. I do have some more of this yarn in a different colour, which I can't wait to use because the yarn is great, it's just not great for this particular project. So yes, I'll give you an update once I've maybe tried soaking it again, and just how to figure out how to block it and for it not to get misshapen really. And I'm afraid that might never happen, but I'll keep you posted if I can figure something interesting out. And what else? Yeah, I knitted this on Hiya Hiya shops, which is my absolute favorite needles for pretty much everything. But the one ply yarn is obviously very easy to split because it's almost just like this roving that with a minimum sort of twist to it. So with the super sharp tips of the Hiya Hiyas, it's just incredibly easy to split the yarn, which happened a million times. But I do find that the Hiya Hiyas work really well for me, and I feel like they are super fast to knit with, and I really like the super sharp tips for any sort of detailed work. And after a while I decided to stop using the cable needles on this sweater to see if that could save me a little bit of time, and it most certainly did. I wouldn't do that if you haven't cabled quite a bit before. I do think that the cable needle is a very handy tool, and you should definitely start using that, because cabling without a cable needle is sort of high risk behavior. It's very easy to mess up if you're not very confident in your cabling. So if you are, you should most certainly try to cable without a cable needle. Yes, I guess that's it. I'll show you the whole thing one more time because I still think that it is really beautiful, and I do love the way it looks. And I mean, there's not an inch on this that's not cabled. It is just absolutely everywhere, which is obviously beautiful. It's just, yeah, you know, it's heavy. It's very heavy. But maybe I'll wear it for you sometime and you can see how it looks like when it's on. I won't bother to do that right now, but maybe later. All right, just one more sip and we'll move on to the next project. All right, so the next project I want to show you is a test knit, and as quite a few of the other test knits I've done, this is for the very beautiful and charming Ane Knits on Instagram. I will put her name and details on the screen. This is a sweater and it is called the Snøstjernegenser in Norwegian. I don't know what the English translation will be, but I'm sure she will make an English version as well of the pattern. Now this pattern is not released yet. I think it's probably going to be a few weeks before it is, maybe even a month, but I will make sure to let you know when it's finished. No, I'm sorry, when the pattern is released. Having two thoughts in my head at the same time. Yeah. Yes. So I'm just going to show you how far I've gotten. Now this is a bit of a vintage inspired sweater, and it's knit out of two different yarns, and they are both a Norwegian yarn brand. Now the first one is called garn, which is yes, House of Yarn is, I guess, what they are called internationally, but I'm not sure if you can get this yarn outside of Norway. I'm not sure. But anyways, it's a Norwegian brand, but the yarn is made in Italy. So this is a yarn called Lille Lerke. There it is, and it's in this beautiful colour. I don't know what the colour name is, but the colour number is H120, and it is a 50-gram ball, which is 142 meters, which is 154 yards, and it's a 53% merino and a 47% Egyptian cotton. Yes, it's very soft and it's got a very beautiful stitch definition. I hadn't used this yarn previously, but I've heard a lot of people saying good things about it, so I was very eager to try it. And the other one is this baby right here. It is called Dreamline Air, and it is by Du Store Alpaca, which is another Norwegian yarn brand. Their website is dustorealpaca.com, and I will put that on the down bar. Yes, so this is a 78% Suri alpaca yarn, and it is a 22% nylon content in it. And it's just, Suri alpaca has these very, very long, can you see? I don't think that's, no, you can't see that, but you can see it on the skein. It's got these really super long fibers on it, so it's almost, you'll almost get this sort of mohair effect using this yarn. And this is the yarn that I used for my, what was that called? I showed it off in one of the earliest podcasts. It's this mauve coloured fluffy sweater, I think. Have I shown it? I was thinking that perhaps I didn't, because I have a tendency to knit a lot of sort of mauvey and light coloured reds and pinks and purple sweaters, so it might be a different one. I know that I showed off one that looked a little bit like that. That was in this Angora yarn. Maybe I haven't shown you. Okay, sorry about the total digression there, but anyways, this is the yarn I've used before on another sweater, and if I haven't shown you previously, I will make sure to do that in a later episode. And it is a very, it's quite soft. It's not mohair soft, but it's definitely soft. And together with the, where did that go? There it is. Together with this one, it is just very, very exciting in terms of color and structure and the overall look of it. And this is how it knits up together. Now, as you can see, this is one strand out of the Lille Lerke yarn and one strand out of the mohair. No, sorry, the Dreamline Air. It's not mohair, it's the alpaca. And it's a, like I said, it's a vintage style inspired jumper, and I've just done the ribbing at the bottom here, and I'm just about to start the lacy pattern that's going to be on the chest. And yeah, so I'm very excited to get started on that. I'm not even going to show you because I'm just in the middle of the lace pattern repeat, so showing it just wouldn't do it justice. But I have also knit a sleeve, and there is a pattern repeat on that one, so I'll show you that. I have not sewn in the threads here, sorry about that, but here's the sleeve, and I think that it is going to be really lovely once it's finished. It's very slim fitted, and I do like that in sleeves. And I will show you the lace. I have not blocked this, so pardon if you cannot see it too clearly, but there you have it. It's got this really sweet lacy detail on the wrist here, and a very broad ribbing at the bottom, and that is so comfortable. I love that. I do find I have quite long arms, and I find that jumpers don't tend to fit very well on my wrist because I have quite small wrists, and they tend to be a little bit loose, and they just sort of fall down, and then I'll just pull them up and they get even looser, and yeah, it's a struggle. So I really like this broad ribbing here, and I think it's going to create a very superb fit. And these two yarns held together are very, very soft, and I can't wait to wear it. I think it's going to feel so comfortable against the skin, and these colors are so much fun. I'm so glad I went with this, because this yarn is almost like a yellow color. It's almost like a pistachio color with yellow in it, I guess. So this one is more yellow than green, but then this one is also sort of a yellow green, but much heavier on the green part. So these two together this just made a lot of sense to me. And seeing it knit up is well, it's incredibly exciting, but it's also a little bit satisfactory, really, to see that your sort of vision for how it would work, the colors would work together, are correct. I just had to take a little break to charge the camera and myself with some coffee, and due to that little filming delay, I decided to do a little bit more knitting on the project that I just showed you, so that I could show you a pattern repeat. Very exciting things happening here at the Salapaloosa Knits video cast. Alright, so there you have it. This is the pattern that is going to be on the front, on the chest, and this is going to turn into a row of these beautiful lacy patterns right there. Yes, I think it's going to be just beautiful, and I really feel like this project pretty much knit itself. I only started it, when was it? It's been less than a week, and I've already knit one full sleeve and this whole part right here, and so I think this jumper is going to be finished in not too long, actually. Granted, I am going on holiday next week, and I don't think I'll bring this project because it takes a little bit of it takes up a little bit more space than I would like, so I would probably bring a pair of socks, but I do guess I could probably bring a sleeve to work on as well. You know, you can't really have just one project. I guess this is this sort of a knitting curse if you're traveling. For some people it's shoes. You can't seem to figure out how many shoes to bring, and for knitters it's definitely how many projects do you bring on vacation. So yes, we'll see. Now this project lives in a project bag by Give Me a Crown. I'm just going to shove it in there to show you better. Let's see, let me just close it for you there. So this is the Love Birds bag by Give Me a Crown. It's got snaps in the top, and it's got this super handy wristband right here, which is brilliant because I do like to keep it on there while I'm doing other things like cooking and waiting for something. It's like waiting for the water to boil or something. It's so great to just pick it up and knit as you go, and if you like to walk in it, you can most certainly do that with this sort of wristband. The bag is very beautifully lined. Like I said, it's by Give Me a Crown, and that's the name of the Etsy store as well. I am very, very pleased with this bag, and I will absolutely buy more project bags from Give Me a Crown. I definitely recommend them. It's very well made, and the stitching on it is beautiful, and it's a very nice size actually. It looks very small, but you can fit a lot in there, and I really like it. Yes, so that's the project bag. Now back to the sweater itself. I thought I would show you the notions that I'm using. I've got this little stitch marker here. This is one of my favorites. It is by Jiggles and Beans on Etsy, which if you have seen any of my past episodes, you know that I love Jiggles and Beans stitch markers. I really adore them. I've got a few of them now, and I definitely want to get some more. These are 2 peas in a pod, and I think they are adorable, and that's probably some of the reason why this sweater knits up so quickly, apart from the fact that I really enjoy working on it. But I mean, I just want to do another row so that I can take a look at those little faces. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just too adorable, that little face? It's so sort of surprised. I think it's adorable. Yes, so I'm knitting this on the Knit Pro Cubics needles. I have been using both the Cubics and the Cubics Novas to test out what I like better with this yarn, and I do like the Cubics quite well. Now the difference is that the Cubics are wooden needles and the Cubics Novas are metal needles, but they are both square. If you're not familiar, Knit Pro or Knitter's Pride, if you are in the US or Canada, they are square needles that are supposed to be a little bit more ergonomical for your hands to work with. And I do know that a lot of people with who have difficulties and problems with their joints and hands and elbows and stuff like that, that they prefer using the Cubics, because because of the natural sort of way that you would hold them, almost like a pencil. So that is the way that they work. I'm sorry, I couldn't stop myself from eating a little bit. Yes, so the cubics are very good for people who have a little bit of difficulties with the hands. Like I said, luckily I don't, but I do find them to be provide a very even and good stitch definition when I knit with multiple strands of yarn, and especially with working. Oh, look at that. I'm not going to show you the knot there. Let's just look at the beautiful strand. Especially when working with sort of fluffy yarn like a mohair or this alpaca yarn. So I really like the square needles for that. I feel like they provide very even definition to your knitting, and so far I really like it. They are quite blunt, I'd say, but they work fine. I would prefer them to be a little sharper, but you know, you win some, you lose some. I also love the way that they look, just purely aesthetically, with the colour of this yarn. They are this beautiful rosy wood colour, and with that bright yellow and green, I think it's just so visually stimulating to work with. These are the interchangeable needles. I'm normally not a very big fan of interchangeable needles because I've yet to discover ones that I haven't had any issues with. I've tried quite a few and they all tend to break or come loose at the joints somehow, or I've yet to discover ones that I really like. So far these are quite good, but I just a couple of days ago, let me see if I can reach that, I actually I used the one that's I used the 4mm one for the ribbing, and just when I was getting finished with, this is how it looks, with knitting it, it totally just broke off. Look at that. The wooden, it just totally broke off in the joint. So you can see the wood in there, but the needle's gone. So this is certainly some sort of a default, I guess, with these needles. That I don't know, I haven't heard about anyone else having this problem, but I did not apply any sort of force on them, and so here's the point in question on the other needle. This is where it broke right there. So I'm a little bit hesitant to get more of them. If anyone has any experience with these needles, I would love to know. If anything like that has happened to you, I might get in touch with Knit Pro as well and talk to them, because I don't think that this usually happens. So I'm thinking that it might be a bit of a factory default with those needles in particular. The wires are quite flexible. I do find them a little bit too stiff, and I do find them a little bit rough on the joints, but all in all I do like the cables, and they are also this gorgeous purple colour, so that's nice. Yeah, I think that's probably all I'm going to say about that. Yes, all in all, it's a great project. I really like working on it, and I can't wait to have it finished and to show you and to wear it, because I think that this is not just going to be a process knit where I really enjoy working on it, but I think that I would really enjoy the project as well and enjoy wearing it, which is always a good thing. So that's that. I will of course let you know the moment it is available and what the English version of the pattern will be called. yes, so that is the knitting that I wanted to show you and talk about this week. I have also a couple of acquisitions that I want to show you. Like I promised in the last episode, I will show you some of the yarn all of the yarn, that I got from John Lewis last time I was in London, right before Christmas. And if you don't know, John Lewis is this great British department store, and they also have quite a extensive crafting section where they have lovely fabrics and a bunch of different sewing accessories, and they also have quite a bit of yarn. And so I was able to pick up a few lovelies. I got some West Yorkshire spinners, and it's their signature 4-ply yarn, which is the 75-25 wool nylon blend. It's the wool is 35% blue-faced Leicester as well, which is the British sheep. So, alright, I'm just going to show you because this is so much fun. This is the first skein that I got. This amazingly bright and fun rainbow coloured ball of yarn. This is a 100-gram ball, which is 400 meters and 437 yards, which is going to make a lot of socks if that's what I'm going to use it for, which I probably think I will, or it might be a really cute sort of baby cardi or something like that. I'm not quite sure. It is a little bit rustic feeling, but it would probably get a little bit softer after it's been washed, so maybe it would work for a garment like that. I'll have to think about it, but if nothing else, it would be excellent socks. Don't you just get really happy looking at that? I think it's so brilliantly bright and fun, and I couldn't let this one go. I had to bring it with me. And the other one I got is also the signature 4-ply by West Yorkshire Spinners, but it's a little bit more muted. It is this autumny purple, yellow and olive green coloured yarn. It's just a beautiful ball, I think. It's the same yardage, it's the same blend. I don't know the name of the colour. There's some numbers in the back here, but I don't really know what's the name of what's the number for the colours. So we have 811 or we have 0494. I don't know, but I think this is the only ball from the signature 4-ply collection that is in these sort of purple and green and yellow colours. So if you find something that looks like this, it's probably the right one. And again, I think I'll probably use this for sock yarn. Yes, I'm really happy with this, and I haven't used West Yorkshire Spinners before, so I'm excited to get going on that. Not quite sure which patterns I'm going to choose, but maybe just a vanilla sock, because being self-striping, I feel like a vanilla sock with self-striping yarn is just as fun as it gets, really. I think it's just so much fun, and I don't think that I think that maybe adding a pattern to that might be a little bit too much, especially with these insane colours right here. Now, speaking of crazy colours, I got another one. This, granted, is not from John Lewis, but while we're on the subject of crazy colours, I might as well show you right away. This is the Regia yarn. It's from their 4-ply sock line, and it is it's one of the season colours, and it is also quite bright and fun. Look at this one. It's got these beautiful baby pale blue colours, and this bright purple magenta, and this fiery orange and some white stripes in there as well. And I think that this is such a fun and playful sock yarn. Now, this is the yarns that when you knit it up, they sort of create this colourwork pattern almost, only that it's just the one strand of yarn. So you just knit, regular stockinette stitch, and I don't know if you can see this, but it ends up looking, yeah, there we go, it ends up looking like that. So in knitting stockinette, you get this. How incredible is that? I think that is so brilliant. I really like Regia yarns. I think they have great sock yarns. Their Perfect series are just brilliant, and yes, I can't wait to start knitting on these. So I did get quite a bit of commercial sock yarn, which was rather good timing, because Amy of the Stranded Dyeworks is going to host a commercial sock along, I guess. So maybe I'll jump into that and yes, get working on some fun socks for this year. I really just want to cast them all on. I love them all. Alright, so back to John Lewis. I got a couple of smaller balls, 50-gram balls from Bergere de France. It's a sock yarn. It's 50-gram balls, and it's a 75-25 blend of let's see, lamb's wool and polyamide. So the first one is called Imprim bleu, and it is this one. Now this is just a 50-gram ball, but in those 50 grams are 215 meters, which is 230 yards, and that is quite a generous yardage. So I can definitely get a pair of socks out of this one skein, or this one ball, which is great. And I got another one as well. They're exactly the same, but in a different colorway. It's called Imprim Azur. So it's this a bit more muted. It definitely has that house by the lake feel to it. This beautiful pale beige and baby blue and white creamy colour. So these are a little bit more muted. I might actually use them for socks for my boyfriend, because he is quite traditional and likes a bit more conservative colours. And yeah, I'll see. Maybe I can't help myself and I'll make them something out of them for myself, but I'll try to maybe gift them. We'll see. I will let you know when it happens. And yes, so those were the John Lewis yarns that I got. If you are in London or just anywhere near John Lewis, you should definitely stop by. I know they have this brilliant sale in January, where they have a lot of fabrics on sale and probably a lot of the yarn as well, but I was there right before Christmas, so I missed out on the sale. But I'm very pleased with what I got, and the pricing on all of these socks yarns were quite good, so I could get some hand-dyed yarn as well when I got home. And I did. I just got this in the mail the other day, and this is one from one of my favourite dyers. It's Amy Edwards Green's company, Stranded Dyeworks, and this yarn is on her Cavern base, which is the stellina base, and I'm just going to show you. It's called Modern Love. Look at that. I hope that you can see how beautiful and sparkly and lovely this is. There is so much stellina in here. Well, I mean, it's 5% stellina, but it just feels like so much more. It's so beautiful. It's a 75-20 superwash merino nylon blend, and then there's 5% stellina in it. It's 400 meters and 437 yards. It's 100 gram skein. Once again, I just really want you to see the beauty of this skein. It's just gorgeous. I can't wait to cast this on, and I think that I might actually use it for my really exciting design project that I'm working on, because I'm trying to make quite a few different models to photograph. So I think this one would be just beautiful. It's just so delicate and sort of romantic, and I really, really like it. Yes, all of Amy's yarns are stunning, and they are so good to work with. And this is the first, no wait, I've got another one of the Cavern base, but I haven't used it yet, so I'm really excited to cast this on. I can hardly wait. So that was the first one I wanted to show you, and the other one is another of my absolute favorite dyers. This is Mr. B Yarns, and their shop is Bird Street UK, and this is the Tintin colorway, and it is just the most perfect shade of blue that I have seen in my life, I think. Tintin is this great French cartoon, this animated series that I guess they've done a lot of films and series in recent years, but I grew up watching the Tintin, the older animated films, and I loved that show so much in those movies. So I know they've done they recently did a remake of one of the films. So it's a newly animated film, not a cartoon like the old ones. But I'm just rambling here. They have done a newer version of the films, or the series. I'm sorry. I think they made it into a film. That's what I was going to say. But that's an animated feature, and the old ones were cartoons, and I love those. And again, this is Tintin, and I just feel like if you've seen the show, you probably can appreciate how incredibly well this represents, how well named it is, and how well it represents the character. And look at this sort of rusty colour here, and when you open it, you can see these brilliant dark blues in here. I just adore this. Look at that rust, and then when you work your way into this, you can see these stunning darker blue speckles here, and I think that this is just going to look so gorgeous when it's knit up, and I can hardly wait to get my hands working on this. Yeah, so Mr. B's yarn, which is Bird Street UK on Etsy, and I just love their yarn so much, and I just keep coming back and ordering more and more and more, because the wool piggery is insane when I look at their Etsy shop, and I just can't seem to stop myself. So yes, those were the two skeins that I really wanted to show you this week, and I guess that's it really for the knitting content and the yarny content, and I think we're going to close it there, because I really need to pack, because I'm heading to Rome tomorrow, and I haven't even started thinking about what I'm bringing and what I have to pack and what I'm supposed to wear. So I've got quite a bit of work ahead of me there. Yes, I think I'm going to leave you before my rambling starts going just way out of proportion there. And so when I'm uploading this episode, I will probably be heading to the airport. So when you're watching this, I will be in Rome. If you want to get some updates, I will be sure to try to make some add some updates to my Instagram stories. So if you want to look at that, please do head over to Instagram and follow me there. I am Salapaloosa Looks. And yes, if you've enjoyed talking to me, please feel free to hit the thumbs up on the video and press subscribe if you want to get notices. Sorry, I really need to get more coffee. I'm just rambling here. If you want to get notices about any new videos, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And some coffee, yeah. Alright. Hope you all have a lovely week. Thank you so much for your love and support, and I've really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. And yes, happy knitting. Bye.